single time.
Where the incredibly diligent worker just, his eyes pop open and the alarm goes off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it happens for me. I haven't heard my alarm. I actually don't even know what it is. I set my alarm and I always wake up before.
But you always set your alarm. That's interesting. Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah. I think it's a mental, like, there's an alarm.
Right.
And that mental thing means, like, oh,
you just have
gotta
an
wake
alarm
up.
in your head. There's an elf in there that has a hammer. And he just, like, hits your brain every time.
That's why I'm so dumb.
Give me that elf's number. I want to call him. I want to employ him.
For sure. Yeah. He's good at his job.
We'll exchange numbers.
You know who else is good at their jobs? GregoryH2O and Yami at playing Shadowverse. There's another Havencraft deck. Yes!
Another Havencraft deck.
And look at the card packs!
Ooh, Sonya. Oh, what's the top one? I can't see it.
The top one is a Doragon.
Ooh, nice.
But the bottom one, man. The blue, oh my, it looks so cool.
Summon Pegasus and Heavenly Aegis in hand for Yami. Great one drop. It's a 5/3 follower when it finally does pop.
I'm having a good day.
Sacred Plea as well. Another great one drop.
Yep. Please let me win. That's what it's saying.
Please, please, please.
Can I win one game, please?
If the card was voiced, that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. Hey, are amulets voiced at all? They're not, right?
No, they're not.
None of the amulets are.
Oh,
wow.
Seraph has a voice when it finally pops for the final
double
one.
plea. Really? What does it say?
It says, so our prayers become victory.
Oh.
When it, like, the wings come out and light flashes. It's cool. It's pretty cool. Just take my word for it. Yeah.
Okay, I will. Never play Havencraft.
Ooh, and a missed 3-drop for Yami.
Animated Zeus, too. God, these guys have such cool aesthetics. Double Zell.
Animated Zeus. That is a cool card. I don't think I've ever seen an animated Zeus.
And this situation is real interesting. You've got Themis, you've got Dark Jean, you've got so many things in hand, but not quite things that deal with now.
Right. That deal with now. He's got the Sacred Plea dropping next turn, so he'll be able to get some card draw for that. Maybe an Ancient Lion or a Cudgel. Definitely the cards you want to have at this stage of the game. He's got the Radiance Angel next turn as well, so there's heal and more card draw as well. That's absolutely crucial for Yami to get those options in the hand that he needs. But
oh my God. Okay, so the big thing here is Gregory, in his attempt to play aggressive, could end up committing too many cards and getting them all Themist. The one tempting thing to do is, which I think is super funny, probably not the smartest choice, but if you play the second symbol, then you're just healing for 6 every turn. But if you do that, you open yourself up to
Themis. Yeah, and Havencraft, that's definitely one of the more potent cards in this matchup. In Shadow, those followers could have last words, summon liches, summon skeletons or anything, and Themis just procs those. But
situation is still awkward, having spent evolution orbs on cards like these rather than something like maybe the Ancient Lion Spirit, which could get much more value across the whole board.
Right.
Still not the worst situation. How do you remove the Sybil? This is one of a 5-drop for 4/5. 5 defense is a lot. It's kind of 4 defense is okay. 5 defense is where it gets to be. That's really good, right?
Yeah, especially for a 5-drop, having 5 defense, not to mention the ramp and the healing available. Sybil, such a potent card in the Sahak wheel.
Sahak pulling in Zeus. The god of all. Oh, and the evolve on him. Sweet face. You're dead.
There it is. Here we are talking about how great a card Sybil is, and Zeus under our noses just takes and wins this game, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's Storm Dragon for you.
That's Storm Dragon, man.
And I know you can loosely say Storm Dragon because it just seems like Dragoncraft is just... They took a whole bunch of different Lego blocks from different sets and just threw them at each other.
The strongest neutral followers that all have Storm.
Yeah. They kind of put them together and it happened to create this beautiful palace that is Dragoncraft right now.
It's a really great metaphor, visual metaphor. I have like these... Yeah. Way to go, man.
Hey. Thanks, buddy. People probably hated it. Hey, Gregory takes the first win, and that was actually a really great fast-paced game. I think this is classically what hurts Havencraft the most. The draw is so important, which is why we see that these Havencraft decks are needing to tune their curve so in such a careful method, even to cut out things like Test of Strength, to make sure that they draw the options that they need.
Right.
The early 2/2 drops, right? The 2 Zells, and I think it was the Goblin Mage.
Goblin Mage, yeah.
That is a lot of pressure for Havencraft to deal with, and to
we
be
didn't
in a
even
situation.
see the Pegasus pop.
Yeah,
he was playing those amulets. That's the thing about the amulets that summon followers.
Yeah,
they're very efficient when you get to those turns, but Dragoncraft could end the game before the amulets even pop.
Yeah.
And you get the followers that you need to put pressure on the board.
Sahak evolves Zeus on turn 7. You get that 7 damage storm.
Let the duel begin.
And the Haven deck going up against Shadow, this is one of the more interesting matchups for me to see how the last word
Temple Defender, we were just talking about.
Temple Defender, that's a great card, especially against skeletons.
Yes.
Essentially like preventing skeletons from attacking at all.
Yeah.
Because they can't do any damage to Temple Defender on the turn that you attack with.
Definitely a target that, I mean, there's still ways to play around it, right? Because you could use Orthrus, or you could, if they evolve it, use Soul Squasher, right? There's ways to play around it, but it just forces those options to be available and to be spent on that particular card.
And for a 3-drop, even though it's only 2/2 with Ward, many times you force your opponent to use more orbs than you used to play the card in the first place, so it ends up being a more efficient play. Because anything that does 1 damage to it does 0 damage, so you're forced to do...
That's probably the best card to use against the Temple Defender.
Yep.
And what a strong board for Gregory here.
Yeah,
He's got
a
bunch of skeleton effects going on, the Lurching Corpse to remove stuff, and buff the Shadow Reaper.
Yep. But the Priest of the Cudgel going to be able to banish off that Lurching Corpse, prevent it from attacking next turn, from attacking the ward, and being able to banish off another follower. That's very important.
Needs to banish the Lurching Corpse.
Yep.
I feel like that's the big thorn in Yami's side right now.
Sometimes you can play around Lurching Corpse when it only has 1 attack, and if your opponent doesn't have a way to get rid of it, like with a Necro Assassin or Soul Conversion, it's just like a little prick you take every turn. And if you're an aggro deck as well, you can sometimes finish the game, and it's a 2-drop that was sometimes wasted.
Yes. So opts not to touch anything, doesn't even remove the Sergeant, leaving it to Gregory's turn to kind of swing into the Temple Defender. And here's a good situation for Gregory. Going to be able to evolve the Cerberus, swing over the Temple Defender.
I've said my last prayer.
That opens up some face damage, but the Reaper is now out of ambush and only 1/1.
And only 1 defense.
1 turn away from Themis's. No ALS. Radiance Angel?
Yeah, you've got healing, you've got draw with that card as well. I mean, because you took... That essentially mitigates... I mean, you took 4 damage from the Reaper and the Catacomb and the Sergeant, and being able to heal from 3. Aside from that 1 damage you took, it's kind of like mitigating that pressure that Gregory was able to put on. Of course, you still have to deal with the followers as well. The Catacomb and the Sergeant are still going to summon skeletons when they die as well.
I feel like the focus here is the Reaper and then Cerberus, just because Cerberus is holding so much damage.
Right.
As well as Coco and Mimi there. I mean, what, you already have 9 on board right now, plus 4 from Coco and Mimi and an Evolution Orb.
A Phantom Howl as well. Not many shadows, but I think it's expected that you're going to be able to build up those shadows with all of these followers that you have.
I think Yami is really thinking hard about it, right? Does he want to put a ward down?
Yeah,
if he commits the ward, that's it, right? I mean, if he plays Grimner, he can't play anything else. So basically, he's limited to playing just one of these cards.
Yeah. And Acolyte's Light is a great card, being able to banish a follower for 5 cost.
It's going to be Radiance Angel. Draws the Aegis. Kind of cool.
Pretty cool. We'll see if the game even gets to that point. But Gregory has got all of the tools that he needs to close out this game. Yami is sitting pretty on 17 health, but it's going to be real difficult.
Is there a way to do that better? He probably could have saved 1 health on his Priest, right? If you swung the Reaper first, then swung the Angel into the thing. I'm pretty sure his Priest could be at 4/4 right now. But probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
What are you hiding inside?
Ooh. Man, making it real difficult to Themis next turn with the Catacomb. What a great play from Gregory. Being able to anticipate the Themis. There is a Judge of Retribution being able to banish off that Sergeant that's been buffed up to 4/2. But there's still many more followers and another Mimi in hand. I think Shadow is showing us why it's so strong. It's able to put on so much pressure. And I don't think that the Havencraft deck, I don't think Yami has what he has in his hand, has what he needs to really deal with this.
So he's got Mimi for 2. If he wipes out the Sergeant, I think that's going to spawn 2 skeletons.
Oh, will it?
I believe so. No, just one.
Mm-hmm.
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember if he played 2 catacombs. Right. But that's 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. That's good value. One of the zombies gets wrecked.
Either way, yeah, good value, especially knowing that.
Yep. And this is putting Yami in a very uncomfortable spot now.
Yep. He's getting below that 10 health range.
Even if you use Themises, you'll live with 1 health for next turn. Yeah.
Yeah, and Gregory has got more than.
No, actually, it doesn't matter because it spawned the 1/1s anyways. Yeah. So even with the last word effect, you won't get more damage just because of board space. But it's very scary if something like Ector comes along.
Right. Absolutely. And with the 3 1-drops that you really were hoping for in the early stage of the game, the 2 secret plays and the summon Pegasus, not really the position, kind of like 3 dead cards that you can play, but I think the game's going to be over. Even if you were to play them this turn, I think the game's going to be over before those cards even pop.
It's so interesting. I would love to look at Yami's list. He hasn't seen any kind of Dark John, any kind of Ancient Lion Spirit, both of which would be so helpful in all of these situations.
Right.
It's going to be Themises.
The bones embrace me.
Yeah, real difficult choice that Nami had to make there, Themising, hoping that there wasn't an Ector to get even more pressure.
Okay, setting up another dangerous situation, and now you're going to need to start considering playing Ward and Heal at the same time. And even then, that might not save you.
Right, yeah, he's got the cards. He's got Grimnir and Radiance Angel. You're right, he's going to be able to heal and ward if he wants to, but there's no Evolve Orb. He's not going to be able to clear off any other followers from that play. And the Acolyte's Light spending 5 play orbs just to get rid of the Lyrial Archer, a real difficult position that Yami has been forced into by this Shadow deck.
Gregory on the verge of moving on to the semifinals.
It's going to depend on the decision that Yami makes this turn to kind of hold out for until he can get what he needs. But I think that Gregory is really coming out on top in this matchup.
I like the Radiance Angel because it both kind of extends your life and gives you a draw that might inform you on how to survive.
Right, it could be another Themis, and if you can catch Shadowcraft in a spot where it doesn't have the last words abilities on some of its followers, they can be absolutely devastating. But even if you do clear the board, that's 6 cost, and it just kind of opens up the board for a Phantom Howl play that Gregory has in his hand as well. So either way, real difficult position.
So if he does play the Grimnir here at 11 health, a Lyrial and a Skeleton need to swing in. And 2, if we assume that he has 2 damage and 4, 6, 8, 10. Lurching Corpse, not really going to be helpful. Skeleton 1, Lyrial 1.
Right, especially when there is a ward on the field, but the ward only has 1 attack. And even if in the coming turns you can attack the Lurching Corpse into the ward, it's still not going to be able to kill itself.
2, 4, 6, 8. I don't know if that was maximum damage.
Oh, he's got 11 with the 1 attack from the Lyrial Archer.
4, 6,
yeah,
7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
Not to mention the Mimi as well.
Oh, yeah. You're right. The Lyrial Ping. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Gregory, man, taking this 2-0, our first 2-0 game of the day in the round of 8.
Yeah, and that feels really strange because we've just been seeing 2-1s all the time.
Yeah.
And really, I think he actually got the ideal Dragoncraft game there, right? Just swung super aggressive and had the exact amount of damage he needed at the end. And even that Shadowcraft game within